Hey, good morning, Ray. Terry Dyer here. I'm the broker with whom you were just chatting a few minutes ago as a consequence of your inquiry on LendingTree. Thought I'd do what I promised you and a little bit something a little bit different and send you a little video, a little introduction. And so, good morning or afternoon, whatever is appropriate. Here I am right there, bald, and I think I'm much better looking now. This was about 15 years ago. And here's Debbie Nelson. She owns Hanson Loans. I'm an associate broker with her, and I own Realty San Diego. So you can't get the whole name in there. This is my website. Go to writemyoffer.com. That's my website right there. Anyway, not that any of that matters. Here's what happens when you put your information in there with LendingTree. It's all my leads right there. Eh? Please don't go calling them asking if they want loans. I have to make a living. Just kidding, right? Here we go. Okay, so here we go down here, and here's the information that LendingTree sends me and everybody else. Right, what you did was the short form, so it's not as intentioned as the long form, wherein somebody would have filled out their social security numbers and whatever account numbers and just a bunch of other information. And so that other information that LendingTree gathers obviously goes to the intent of the borrower. So those people that provide more information or more intentioned, that's called a long form lead. This here is a short form lead, or in this case, the purchase with a short form lead. And so this here was $22.50. Let's see what we got down here. Tells us how much it was. Self-graded. Anyway, that's how that all works, okay? So, simply put, that's how you and I met. All right? And then let's go over here and let me get rid of the names of these people that I've also been working for. And see, what I did here was, here's the thing with the rates right now, is that the long-term rates and, jumbo rates and conforming rates are kind of very similar. So let me go ahead and price this out for you. I've already done it. If you see, here's your name up here. And we're looking at about a $700,000 loan. I know we're talking about $690 and $700, right? Okay, so let's price both of these. So I can go through it with you, and we'll take out that number right there and just see what comes up. In DTI, this is a 780, or let's make it 800. I think 780 is about all the computer can handle. It might blow up with an 800 credit score. So DTI, let's put in 35%. I know Union Bank prefers 35%. I'm not sure about Wells Fargo, but we're also approved with them. This is via their conduits. Lock days, this is a 45-day lock that I'm pricing here. If we did a 30-day lock, then you get a little bit more rebate. You may know what that is, but if not, you'll know what it is in a second. Then as I said, non-conforming, that would be jumbo, single-family, detached, owner-occupied purchase, none waived. This means that you'll include your taxes and insurance in with your monthly payment. Some lenders have a quarter point pricing hit, meaning that they'll charge you a quarter point if you don't. And I'll see if any of that is applicable here when we price this out. So escrows, none are waived. That means we're not waiving any escrows. All waived, hazard insurance waived, property taxes waived. So this prices it with an impound account. And 92011 or 10, I don't remember. I think it was 92009. I don't remember the zip code, which one you're in Carlsbad. The, I think, 3 that are there. And so we have about, now look at all these lenders. There's a ton of lenders in there, so we don't use all those guys. In fact, there's a ton more that aren't even in there. But, it's going to be the Wells Fargo, the Quickens, the Loan Depots, those guys that are going to be most competitive. So we're going to find out what those rates look like here in just a second. In the meanwhile, this is Loan Sifter, and it's a software that we license. It's a company. We license their software. And the reason we do that is because we have all these different lenders, and there's a couple hundred lenders in here. This says let's see now, how many lenders do I have? Well, it doesn't really matter. 100. This says 16 of 47. But depending on where I go here, you can see how many lenders there are. It's crazy. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Let's get back down to business, your business, okay? So a couple of ways that we can price this loan. Since Dodd-Frank in 2010, lenders no longer participate, or brokers rather, no longer participate in rebate. So whereas in the past, the broker would quote a rate of, say, whatever it is, and there might be $3,000 or $4,000 in rebate. For instance, here at 3.875, there's $2,000 in rebate. In the past, the borrower would never know this until they got their closing statement, and then they would see that this was POC $2,030, meaning that the broker got it paid out at closing or after closing. So these days, we don't get that money now at all. 100% goes to you, the borrower. So what I did here was I priced that $700,000 loan at non-conforming, meaning it's a jumbo, single flat family, and come all the way down here. And here's a list of lenders that are competing for that business. And so let's see now. We see JMAC in here a couple times. And if you look, you see the Malibu Jumbo Fixed. They have a Manhattan Jumbo Fixed. So Quicken is their Jumbo Fixed. Some of these lenders have several different programs, meaning the New Res right here, JMAC and New Res, these are both the Wells Fargo 30-year fixed. And let's see if anybody else is sporting the Wells Fargo. I think these guys might be the one of these other ones. I have 3 lenders that are Wells Fargo conduits, and so this would be one of them. Now, this is lender paid, so the lender's paying, meaning the lender's paying the points to Hanson Loans. Okay, so we're pretty conservative here. I think you'll probably agree. You know, we only ask that we get compensated by way in the amount of about 1.3, just under 1.4% of the loan volume. So that's all we get. It's not 2.5% or 3% like a lot of brokers do, and then it would of course be built into the pricing. So by way of example here, this is 1.25. So for JMAC, we're getting 1.25 on a Wells Fargo loan. I mean, that's pretty reasonable, right? And the reason for that is, one, I do a lot of big loans. My clients are sophisticated people. They have lots of times multiple income streams. You know, I mean, competitive situations, more or less. But more importantly than anything, the higher this number goes, the lower this number goes. So my clients need this money for closing costs. So if I charge 2.25 over here, then this will show as a cost to them because this $2,000 would go away. This is a quarter point, 0.29 of the loan amount, right? So if I charge 1.5 right here, this $2,000 would shift over to my column, and then there would be 0 here. So you never know what a broker's got built into their comp. These are under contract with each of our lenders. Okay, that's all that we get, that 0.25. So hopefully you'll agree that's pretty reasonable. And this would be a 30-year fixed at 3.875 with, again, JMAC, but it's going to be Wells Fargo, and then they would give you $2,000 credit. Okay, so this is called lender paid. Now before we change that, let's go look at the conforming. So the conforming is jumbo is 3.875 with 2K back, right? Okay, let's go look at conforming. Here we are. And what did I do wrong? Conforming, have changed the loan amount. And this just is an error. That's all that is, that it showed up. It's just an error because they don't really do them. So anyway, at 690, you see the numbers come up. And at 690, my point here is there's really very little difference between the jumbo pricing and the conforming pricing. You're getting $2,200 in rebate back at 3 7/8, right? And we were getting 1.25. So we were getting less money, and you were getting less money more. You're getting less money too. Anyway, I got myself baffled. Excuse me. So anyway, my point is conforming pricing is the same as jumbo. And not that putting, $1 million, an extra 10 grand down makes any difference to you, but you don't have to deal with the nuances of Wells Fargo and jumbo. Well, you're with Wells Fargo now, so it should be pretty simple. So anyway, either way you want to do it, the rate is going to be the same. I guess that I should stop there, and that's it. Those are the rates. Oh, that's right. I want to show you this other one. Borrower paid comp. So say for instance you didn't want us to get 1 3/8. You and I worked out a different deal, right? Which is something we could do. I told you on the phone, let's make a deal. Something that works for everybody, right? So at 3.875 on a conforming, the lender was paying Hanson Loans 1.25, 1 3/8, and they were giving you $2,000 cash back, right? On a borrower paid, meaning the lender is only giving us not 1 3/8, not $2,000 in addition to for closing costs. They're only giving $2,000, 3.5. Okay, So the difference in rate is 3.875 and 3.5, and there's the $12,000, right? Because they're giving us 1.25 and they're paying $2,000 for your closing costs, right? So there's the difference. There it is, right there. So you can see how the rebate works. Well, not that you don't know, but anyway, the further up you go on the rate, the bigger the rebate gets. The lower you go on the rate, or just some lenders are just so they're just not compatible, they're just not competitive at this rate. This is the type of loan that they want. And if you want to go down 2.875, it just shows you how you can price it to buy down the rate. So those are your two options: lender paid, borrower paid. Here's the thing, right? We're supposed to get a couple more rate cuts this year, 3. That's what the prognosticators are predicting. So I would not want to. I would caution you to, go invest any money in a mortgage right now when you can get one essentially for, no cost at 3.875. You have to pay, some of your expenses because there's only $2K back. But no point investing $7 or $8K in a loan today when the rates will be going down. As every indication tells us, and that would be the talking heads, the Federal Reserve President, the former president of the Fed. I can't remember her name right now, and she was out yesterday and said the Fed should cut as well. So anyway, the climate is lowering of rates, and in that environment, I suggest not paying anything for a home loan. Okay, that's it. I don't think I've uttered any words of wisdom that you weren't familiar with, but that's how it all works. Okay, thanks a lot. Hopefully we'll chat soon.